Hey there. I hope you're doing well today. Today is just a couple weeks before Christmas, and so we're coming up on the holidays. And actually, many of you have already been experiencing them. And I'm going to talk today about stress and how to handle stress, kind of in general, but in particular over the holidays. My name is Dr. Shiroko Sokitch. I'm the owner of Heart to Heart Medical Center and the author of the book Healing When It Seems Impossible. And I'm super excited to be here today with you. And basically, I'm excited to always be chatting with you. So if you have any questions, just pop them into the chat right there. And otherwise, I'm going to talk about stress and the holidays. So, we all know that, especially in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of stress and people have been struggling with so many different issues. The most important thing is really how to stay centered. And, stress actually has two sort of elements. There's that positive stress of choosing to do something that's challenging and difficult. Like let's say you want to move forward in your life and you decide you're going to change some habit that you have or change something that you do for work and you have to do it differently. Well, whenever you move out of a place that you've been for a long time and then you decide to do something new, then that can be a positive stress and that won't have a negative impact on your body. The kind of stress that has a negative impact on your body is really the type of stress that we have when changes come upon us sort of unasked for, or changes that happen in our environment that we didn't request or that we feel like we're not really ready or prepared for. So I'm addressing that kind of stress. And there's also the type of stress of dealing with emotions, of dealing with various different people in our lives that maybe challenge us in different ways that we didn't think of before. So that's also stressful for people. And one of the things that happens when you're feeling really stressed is that you may not sleep as well. Your mind won't shut off. You're just run, 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 run on that hamster wheel in your mind. And you may feel like there's too much going on and you have too much to do, or you may have agreed to do things, especially in the holidays where you didn't really want to do, like cooking for 20 people or something like that. So uh, so there's all different kinds of stresses, obviously. So the thing to do is really make plans for your life. And, as much as possible, if you do certain things every single day, I call it pay yourself first. If you do certain things that take care of you, then it'll be a lot easier to take care of all the other people that you have to take care of in your life. So, you know, get the exercise that you planned on getting. When you're really busy, it's hard to commit to doing exercise. But if you do, even if you do like 10 minutes of running in place, or I like doing YouTube videos that are for dancing, so you could get a YouTube video up and dance for 10 minutes, or play your favorite soundtrack and dance around your living room like nobody's watching. Just do something that you just love. Because if you do something, especially for exercise, that you just love, then you'll have fun and that will mitigate any other kind of stress. Eat. The other thing to do is eat well and to make sure that you eat foods that agree with your body. So like if you plan what you're going to eat and have it in your refrigerator ready to go, then you just heat it up and have it and get going with it. And that way, if you're eating healthy food most of the time, and I know when you get around the holidays, you may not eat as healthy food. You may have more sugar, you may have more carbs. Uh, Whatever it is that your body doesn't agree with, you may eat that during this time of year because, you're with people and you want to have fun and you want to celebrate. So just plan the meals that you're not sharing with a bunch of other people and make sure that those meals are really the best meals for you. So as much as possible, like when stresses are coming up, what you can do is be prepared, so like get get things ready that will make it easier for you to feel good, get things, exercise. If you have to spend a little time that's quiet away from everybody every single day, then just do that. Spend a little time away from people and make sure that you get space for that. If you have your own bedroom, great. If you don't have your own bedroom, if during the holidays you need a little extra time to yourself, then take that time. Take time to take care of yourself. It's kind of like that. We always say this, but if you're on an airplane and the plane starts to go down, if you don't put on your face mask and make sure that you're secured before you put the mask on your child or on whoever is sitting next to you, you'll find yourself not being able to help that person. Same in regular life. If you have a bunch of people to take care of yourself first. Make sure that all your needs are met. And by doing that, you'll be calm and happy and able to do the things that you want to do for the holidays. In terms of sleep, this is something else to pay attention to. Is like when you're running around and being really stressed, trying to get to sleep on time is an important factor. And one of my friends was telling me her family used to celebrate Christmas Eve, and her parents were very clever. They woke her up at midnight, her and the kids. They woke up all the kids at midnight. And said Santa Claus had come, and their presents were all there, and so they got to open their presents and run around a little bit, and then they got a little bit of eggnog and went back to sleep. And it was cool for the parents because they didn't have to get up super early on Christmas morning in order to help their kids open presents. They got to sleep in, the kids got to sleep in, and when the kids got up, they could just play with their new toys, and the parents didn't have to get up and do anything. So I like that idea. So, find ways. The point is that you find ways to make holidays work for you and find ways to make it easy. In my family, we're European, and Christmas Eve is when we celebrated Christmas. We didn't actually do anything on Christmas Day, and we had St. Nicholas Day. We didn't have Santa Claus on Christmas. We had St. Nicholas Day, which was on December 6th, and so there was candy and presents, and all of that was on St. Nicholas Day on December 6th, and then on Christmas Eve we would have we'd have presents as well, but we didn't have like as much stress because it was all we'd done it. We kind of split it up at different times. So there's many ways to do everything, and the key to really enjoying your holidays and things is to create the traditions that work for you and to create events the way that you would like them to be, and maybe work it out with the people that you share those holidays with so that you can all have fun and do what works for you. There's so many ways to do things. And another thing is in terms of foods and cooking, there are so many ways to cook your food as well. So if you have certain diet restrictions, one of the things you may struggle with is that the other people in your family don't have those same restrictions, and they may not respect what those restrictions are. So if that is the case, if you're hanging out with other people who don't have the same diet restrictions that you do, maybe bring some of your own food so that you can share what's able to be shared, and then have the dishes that are good for you, and make sure that you have some of the foods that you need. Because if you have food allergies or sensitivities to certain foods, a lot of times people think that you can just have a little bit of those foods and you'll be fine, but that isn't really the case. If you have a sensitivity to certain foods, like if you're gluten sensitive or you can't do dairy, when you do any amount of those foods that you're sensitive to, you're going to find that you struggle with your health a little bit more, and it'll cause the inflammation that you've been trying to avoid. So you want to not do that kind of thing. Now, the final suggestion that I have for you in terms of dealing with holiday stress is really to make sure that you breathe. And it's such a simple thing to do, but we forget it. You know, like I've been talking now for a couple of minutes without taking a breath because I'm just talking and looking in the camera and engaging with you, but I haven't taken a breath. So, uh, anytime in the middle of the day, just notice what your breath is. And actually, what I had to do in order to be able to notice my breath is to do meditations that are breathing meditations. So, one really simple breathing meditation is to breathe in for a count of 5. I think I've told you this before. Hold it for 5 and then breathe out for a count of 5. Whenever you're breathing, you can't think. So if you focus on breathing, then you're in the moment right here, right now, which will help you feel better. So I just want to wish you the very happiest of holidays and that you find ways that work for you to take care of yourself. Remember, if you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. So you can do that in a loving, open, wonderful way. Make sure that all your needs are met, and then make sure that the people that you love and care for are also taken care of. But first, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'm happy to be here, and I'll catch you the next time.